is that emote? It looks like a bowl of rice. That's hella weird, bro. No, on my screen it shows up as like a white circle, and then it's got some lines on it. I mean, granted, here, hold on. Let me see what it looks like on the bigger screen. Okay, on this one it's a square or a rectangle, even though on my on my other preview it's a circle. What the fuck? Yeah, and it's a square on the my view too. That's weird. I don't know. Yeah, bro, fire. I mean, that's pretty much why I got this up, was to keep me from getting distracted. Even though I talk to you guys in chat. You know, just stay focused, and then hopefully you guys do the same thing. Just keep us all focused and the same thing. Nice. Got an in-person interview rescheduled to tomorrow, 3 p.m. Nice. So tomorrow, my tomorrow's packed. I have 3 different fucking interviews tomorrow, plus that insight one or on-site one, and that one's not even for like a telecommunications job. So this might even just be a waste of my time right now. But whatever. I need to fill my time. I need to feel like I'm being productive.
Does perfect even mean? Is there even such a thing? Ooh, can we switch up all the rules and imagine a utopia?
Dude, that was me when it started raining yesterday. And I was all like, bro, I had an interview. That one that I rescheduled was supposed to be today. I was supposed to be at it right now, actually. But because it rained, I mean, I gotta ride my bike over there, and it's just a little far. So I was like, eh. Literally, that face. I was like that. Yeah, I've got a couple of phone interviews tomorrow, and then an on-site interview. It's like the final round. I don't know, there's like 5 or so of us left. I'm not 100% sure if I'm going to get that, because there's like some insurance issue, but since bro never even brought it back up, I assume it's not an issue anymore. It's like a travel proprietary HVAC solution, right? And I'd be doing the installation side, so I'd be setting up everything and wiring everything up, which is why I was saying it doesn't have anything to do with telecommunications, but it is still in my field of like low voltage installation. And the other ones are for actual travel telecommunications positions, where I'd either be splicing fiber optic cables together, either as part of initial installation or as part of troubleshooting and restoration, or I'd be like a broadband technician, essentially, which is just like the cable guys that come into your house and set up like your TV boxes or your internet, if you've ever had that experience. Although I have no problem saying this, I'm much better than most of the guys that come in and do that stuff. Not to throw shade on all of them, there are plenty of guys that do a good job, but a lot of the coax guys are real shit. They don't care how their cables ran, they don't care about treatment of the customer, they don't care about, the job that they're doing at all. Which, I don't blame them. Coax sucks to work with, and it's usually a pretty shit-paying job, but still, I mean, you don't have any pride in yourself. That's really what I see it as, but I digress. Oh, I can sit here and say pretty much any telecommunications provider that operates nationwide will sit there and cut corners pretty much everywhere possible. Like you said, if you're an ex-fire inspector, you definitely notice shitty cable runs. You notice equipment being put in shitty positions. I mean, dude, they'll drill holes in random spots. They'll leave hella fucked up shit. I mean, as a fire inspector, you probably don't really care about that because it doesn't fuck with the fire, but it's aesthetically horrible. And when it comes to being a homeowner, like, you don't want someone who's just doing a quick service to like fuck up your wall in any way, shape, or form, and to a point where you have to call a carpenter or like a drywall specialist. Like, oh my god, man. Oh my god, man. Spectrum, their butt. Let's see who else. Well, that's it. That email is actually the updated in-person interview. Like, I gotta accept it. I mean, I guess I don't really have to, but it doesn't matter. Who is the other one? Spectrum, Ziply slash, who is it? Frontier. I'm pretty sure Frontier is in some areas bought out by Ziply. Either way, they're both butt. Pretty much any satellite provider is ass, and that's assuming they even send technicians out to do anything for you. Dude, literally, bro. Like, they don't care about what they're doing at all. Like, it's not even that hard to make sure that there's no cables behind what you're doing. Like, and even if you do mess up and there are cables there are ways to mitigate you doing any damage to said cables. Like, the way I would normally penetrate a wall, especially from the inside, is from the inside going to out, is, like, you just drill through the drywall real quick, you know, and then you either hit stud, which, fuck, or you go through the drywall and then you know, feel around in there for any cables. As long as you don't feel anything, you're good. And even then, sometimes there will still be cables there, but you can, like, get in between them or go to the side of them to where you don't actually hit them. Like, right, if the penetration needs to be right there and there's nowhere else to put it because of the architecture of the home. But that's all specific broadband technician shit. Nobody really cares about that. Yeah, dude, they're all butt. They're all butt. And I've seen much shittier shit than someone drilling directly into SLCs, yeah. Like, I've seen, oh my god, like, I throw most of it out of my head because I don't want to remember it. But, like, the stuff that sticks out most to me is, more often than not, I will find exposed wires that are still live, and you don't know that they're live. So, I mean, just as a general rule, if I see exposed wires, like, I'm not touching them, and I'm staying away from them because they're pretty much always live. Oh my goodness, bruh. Alright, and sometimes that's the telecom guys, sometimes that's shitty contractors in the area, but usually if there's like a telecom hub next to it, next to the exposed wire, or a cable run near it, I'm betting it's the telecom guys because they fuck up everything, bro. I don't blame anybody for hating telecom guys, especially the coax guys, because they just do such shit jobs, bro. Like, it's so bad.
Lectures in the FOA series that you may want to.
Bro, fuck Discord. That shit is so annoying, where if you talk long enough, like, it doesn't matter what's being picked up by your mic, your Spotify just stops. That shit is mad annoying, dude.
Test method that simulates the actual system operation.
Not bad all the time. By exposed wires, I usually mean, like, underneath a house or, like, in an attic, and they're just, like, open there, and you're just like, what the fuck? Usually, if they're in a fixture, it's like a ground or something, especially if it's black or white. So then it's not the biggest deal, but it still makes you extremely uneasy. Because, like, you're just wired, nutted, and hanging. If it's nutted to the exterior fixture of the actual, like, light housing, like the inset housing of the electrical part of the fixture, then it probably is ground. So I wouldn't be too worried, right? If it's just like a bare cable, like if it's just copper, if it's white, or if it's black, it may just be ground. But like I said, if it's bolted down, then that's usually your telltale sign that it's actually ground. If it's just exposed, it's still maybe. I wouldn't want to touch it though to find out.
Random link is detected by a detector.
Wait, in a light fixture? In a light fixture? That only makes sense if it's to like a light switch panel, because then like there'd be multiple switches. They're all going to different switches in the home or different lights in the home, or sometimes they go to the same light so that you can have multiple switches for the same light. Apparently, that entire little cutout box supplies power to my entire. Oh my god! Oh my fucking god, dude. I wouldn't doubt it, dude. I wouldn't doubt it. That's why I specifically said fucked up contractors in the area, because I've seen electrical contractors and plumbers do pretty much the same fucking shit, dude. Just, like within their own respective trade. So like how you're describing, your entire room is powered by, or at least incoming power to an electrical, or to a light fixture at the top of your room, and then it's disseminated to everything else through that. I've seen entire homes like go through a heater. Essentially, like those old wall-mounted heaters that would just like shoot some air down at the floor. They're old, so I don't know if you know them, and they're not too common in California either. So, but either way, like the home power would go from the breaker directly into this was at one home too, very specific. It went from the breaker directly into that home heater, like on the opposite side of the wall, and then the rest of the house was powered through that. Like just daisy chained essentially. I'm just like, what the fuck? Oh my god. And plumbers will do the same shit too. Plumbers not too often. I've noticed that plumbers will usually do a better job, but definitely pay attention to who you're hiring, especially if it's a contractor. When it comes to the coax guys that I was talking about, they don't seem to matter if they're contractors or in-house guys. Like it's the entire companies that they're employed by, right? And who the internet service provider is. It's really saddening because it's like it's beyond subpar work. Like you have to be trying to fuck this shit up. It's not even just like you didn't know what you were doing. It's you knew what you were doing. You knew it was wrong, and you were doing it because it may have been all you had, but you didn't fucking care. You weren't gonna go out of your way to get the extra tools or cut the extra length that you needed to cut off to do the job properly. So now you got to use 15 extra fucking fittings to. Like it's just so dumb, bro. Just do your jobs.
System that we're going to use on the cable plant to ensure that it will operate.
Yeah, go talk to your daddy, Mr. Crazy. Your daddy needs to fucking spank you, bruh. Like, you're too crazy, bruh. I'm gonna take screenshots of everything you say, and I'm gonna email them to your dad. And he's gonna fucking punish you, bruh. You're gonna be grounded. You're never gonna play Fortnite again. You're never gonna be able to use YouTube again. You're never gonna watch anime again. You can say goodbye to JoJo. Goodbye to your gay show. No more.
Cables must match.
Is someone just in the Discord? I swear I just heard the Discord leave noise. Whatever.
The fiber type and cable plant we're using, and of course the connectors must be able to connect to the connectors on the end cable plant. But the most important thing for insertion loss testing is to make sure that the reference cable
searching for the lost and found, but you don't care, you're unaware. Keep moving like the scars aren't even there. It's in the air like a blazing flare. Don't stare 'cause the flames will burn us. I thought you were the one for me. That's why I gave you everything. Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me. I used to kiss your head when you cried for me. Hold your hand while the pain was over. Keep you warm by the roaring sea. You meant the world to me. My darling dear, you're never here. When I'm in pain, you hide and disappear. Like shadows in the atmosphere, charting the stratosphere. Yeah. I prayed for you and kept you near, in hopes you'd chase away my fears. I'm on my own, you made it so, and now I'm chasing nightmares too. I used to run with you through the great big leaves, laugh at you when you laugh at me. Hope for us because I believe.
Yeah, I'm usually on all of the main platforms. I'm on YouTube Kick and YouTube, Twitch Kick, and TikTok. But right now I'm banned on TikTok. Not even for any reason. Usually it's because I say like nigger or because I'm smoking on stream or something. With the clip that they sent me, I think it might have been because I said the word retard, but I was talking about myself. I said I'm retarded, so maybe that's why. But either way, fuck TikTok. I don't give a fuck about TikTok. Holy fucking rock. Well, I mean, you can watch it on whatever, on whatever platform you like the most. Excuse me, say the N word. Well, no. Okay. Usually they, like, TikTok is notorious for not having, like, a good, like, strike system, although they've kind of updated it recently where they actually give you a clip of why your stream or your TikTok got taken down. At least for me, it's stream because I don't ever actually post any TikToks. Why my stream got taken down. And I think it might have just been for streaming because their streaming side was a little fucked up. Either way, now they're giving you a clip, and when I watched the clip, it's like all I said was retard in it, right? If I had said nigger, or if I had, you know, said some of the gay shit that I'm saying, like how I'm gonna rape somebody in the butt or something, then okay, fine, okay, ban me for that. Or calling myself a retard? That doesn't even make any sense. And for no reason. They banned me for no reason. You know, it's funny because every single time they do ban me for like a just cause, you know, like I said nigger or something, I always appeal it and go like, I do not agree with this. Yeah, I do not violate any kind of guidelines, bro. Yeah, they say it's hate speech, even though it's not directed at anybody, which that's technically the legal constitution of what hate speech is. They don't care. They don't care. Actually, I'm pretty sure the legal constitution is it both has to be directed at somebody and you have to truly believe it, which is why like that's such a hard thing to prove, because like the only way you can really prove that is with previous behavior, and it has to be like a consistent pattern of like unironic hatred, right? Which that's hard to prove. Good luck. Not impossible, but hard.
If your test equipment is compatible with the connectors on your cable plan, you can test.
Held you close by the stormy seas. Oh, you meant the world to me.
Seeing monsters at your window. No, you can't sleep. You pretend though. You don't have to play the hero.
This place is my go-to. They used to have consistent like 10.75, 11, and $12 grams. Like 13 is kind of where I start to draw my line. 13 and a half gram. The rest of them in the air. Oh. Cool. So I guess this place is out of business. Never mind, I guess. I don't see why those links weren't working. Spinal fluid in a blood test? What? What did? $12 a gram? Might have to come over here. Hey, these for 15. That's actually not bad, bruh. These grams are usually pretty good, but I haven't had their quality in a while, so I don't know. The yellow circle. This? Oh no, you mean the other one. Never mind, I'm retarded. Spinal fluid and a blood test. Yeah, you meant the other ones that were like, yeah, but the other ones that were a little bit lighter and a little bit thicker. Oh, it is already low to high, bruh. That must have been from like a month or two ago, bruh. Maybe Banyan Tree is just not gonna price them at $10 anymore, bruh. Maybe they don't care. Maybe they're like, fuck all you niggas, bruh. Everybody else keeps them at 13, so that's what we're gonna do now. That'd make me sad. I'm gonna say, I'm not typing that in right now. I know you guys deliver to me. Honestly, not bad. No products found. They don't have any fucking concentrates. Bro. That's insanity. Oh, okay. I was gonna say, like, bro, there's no way. Got that shit flipped around, little boy. Bang. Well, today is Tuesday, right? I mean, I'll give fucking Banyan Tree a little bit of time. See if they can re-up, bruh. Not really trying to pay 13 to 15 a gram, bruh. No, I'm not. Wow. Oh, these niggas is burnt. Alright. Well, it's dab time. This is my last gram. I've still got a little bit left in. That's another one, but I gotta like scrape the bottom, bro. You can see there's like barely anything in there. There's at least like 2 or 3 dabs left in there, but I'm not trying to put that work in right now. Damn, that shit smells delicious. Delicious. Magically delicious. Can't believe Carlos never stopped in for lunch, bro. What a bum. Maybe he did. Maybe he was the one who left. Maybe he stopped in and said something and then I never responded until he just left. You know this, Carlos? I think. He's the one that's usually in the chat. With me, fucking... I'm gonna say his handle, but his handle is usually like Carlos V001 or 007 or some shit like that. Like, I think you guys know of each other, but I don't know if you guys ever actually talk. I think I do. Yeah, I was gonna say, I know you guys have at least like been in a call together, you know, while like Franny and I are talking, or you know, we're just in the same Discord or whatever, or like playing Repo or some shit. Cheers. I don't think Repo specifically, but you know, some other quote unquote friend slap game as they're called nowadays. Damn. If that other gram, that other strain that Banyan Tree has of that same brand is of that same quality, then that shit definitely deserve to be up there. That shit should not have been like an $11 gram. That shit's fire. I wasn't even a big dab at all, bro.
Then you use a cable that mimics the cable.
my seat for the whole control of my speech. Yeah, I've been trying to get off this couch for a minute and a whole damn week. No kidding, I'm skinny, I cannot eat. Got a million things that depend on me. Yeah, every friend in my family. From a girl, every fan I meet myself. I'm too on till I'm too off. Come down, make new thoughts. Like jumping off of that rooftop. Whole life never when I do nothing to make moves based on my mood drops. Like who's lost? Like who's lost? It's yo, steadily killing me, running my brain full of shame. I don't wanna lose it. Full of stage, trying to find my pain. See the sun coming out of that rain. My day really not tame. I'ma never slow down. I'ma never behave. Stuck inside this prison, inside this cage. It's taking over. Yeah, I'm a slave for you. I'm a slave for you. Ripping hard and more less. Never stop, no rest. Till the stress is spread.
Bro, I feel like I've watched all these and taken notes on all these before. And yet, my notes end at the end of lesson 3 and start at the beginning of lesson 4 from what I've taken today. Oh, and I've probably seen this lecture already. 15. Man, I should really make a table of contents. I don't know. I guess that's both good and bad, because then it ends up all being kind of like review. Were we just on lecture 16? Yeah, we were. Okay. And this is 15? Okay, yeah, I just found it. Yeah, I just found my old notes. Okay. I'm gonna say, like, I swear I've already seen this shit. Trying to ingrain it into you. Yeah, that's why I was saying, like, you know, maybe it's just a good thing, because then it all just ends up being review, right? Just keep reviewing and reviewing and reviewing and reviewing, and then it'll just be second nature. I hate doing things over and over and over again, but, I mean, ultimately that is how you learn, and that's how you get better, so, whatever. Whatever. I'll just take the notes again. Except, I guess they'll be different, right? Because I've taken 100 pages of other notes with a bunch of other shit in between. So. I'm sure I'll summarize it slightly differently.
Reference for 0DD. Then there are two separate ways of using an OTDR.
What does it even mean, Bill? Got you for life? What, you trying to be a sugar daddy for me or something? I'm like a sugar mommy, but I'm not gay. Okay, my bad. I was launching the Minecraft server.
but gravity pulls you straight down. Earth from a bird's eye view. You should grow feathers and see this too. When you want to get off the darkest ground, but gravity pulls you straight down.
Like, dude, what are the odds it just rains hella random, hella hard, like, on the one day that I actually needed to go somewhere? It wasn't even that far. I needed to go, like, down the street, but it was fucking pouring, bro. Wild. Whatever. It looks like it's supposed to keep raining tonight a little bit. Until, like, 1 o'clock. Like, that's not bad. Cool. My wife's boyfriend brought cookies and his Game Boy for me. Is this a dude? This doesn't even look like a dude. I don't think that's even a dude, bro. Hella piercings.
How do you test fiber optic cable plants? Well, industry standards.
How do you suck on Peter?
around the world include 5 different ways you can actually do a test.
I think it was just some chick posted like one of those cuck memes. I don't think she actually has a wife. But that's why I was saying, like, is that a chick? Because I was thinking about that. I was like, that's not even a dude, bruh. I mean, maybe just some gay chick stuck in a cuck relationship, but I doubt it. I need another dab. I'm getting too distracted. I'm getting a little hungry too. I haven't eaten anything today. It is 3 o'clock in the afternoon. You know what? I'm gonna go swap this out and get some caffeine in me. I'm honestly tired, bruh. I want to go back to bed. Cheers. I don't know what I'm gonna eat for breakfast. Maybe noodles.
Puts light into one end of the cable plant, and as the signal goes down,
dream, believe in strength. Now I'm the only one, only one. I was an ordinary boy until I broke the rules. My life destroyed. My life destroyed.
see me flying, never drop down, smoking high, I am not round, I'm not round, no denying what I got now, keep an eye out, keep it locked down, see me flying, never drop down, smoking high, I am not round, I'm not round, no denying what I got now, keep an eye out, keep it locked down, get too strong when I battle with the beast, bring a few on, the commander and the chief for my crew on, bullets rattling and whistle at your toque, never sleep, eyes open, hands clutching on my loot, this a war zone. This a war zone. Yo, this a motherfucking war zone. This a war zone. Yeah, feel the impact. Yeah, break it open, leaving nothing fucking intact. Hey yo, you been hacked. You're safe, hard in, but I found it, homie, been cracked. Hey yo, we been back. Your band stacking, see you flexing with the thin stack. Hey bitch, you been whacked. I kill 'em all, feel the motherfucking impact. Yo, this a war zone, homie, say you ready and prepared. Take a minute, make them aware. Well, I be sneaking in the back, but it's what the clap, homie, life ain't fair. Caught me crawling through the mud with a vision, saw it clearly. Born a shepherd to these sheep, make them fear me. This a war zone, trenched out, trap house, nothing ever given. Yeah, every day's a blessing, thank the Lord, oh how I'm living. See me riding with my top down, oh cops round, pedal pressing on the gas. I don't think I'll ever stop. Yo, this a war zone, homies.
No shit. No shit, bro. It looks like a computer repair place here in town. That I pass like all the time whenever I go to fucking like pick up weed. They just responded back to me, bro. It's been like I want to say a month and a half since I fucking applied, bro. Like that's insane. Dude, that's what I'm saying. Like, bruh. Just, bruh. I mean, fuck it, bruh. Like, I'd be down to get back into professional computer repair and building. I don't think they actually build here. I think it's just a repair place. But I don't know. Today is Tuesday, right? Yeah, Tuesday. Tomorrow I've got... Okay, at least 2 confirmed interviews and 1 that I'm not too sure about. So I guess I will do this on Thursday. Huh? I don't know, hope something works out, bro. Goddamn. Okay, I'm gonna finish this, and then I'm gonna go start boiling my water, and then we'll start the next lecture.
Later on, you can refer to it for troubleshooting and restoration. So you see, the 5 different...
Eyes in the sky, gazing far into the night. I raise my hand to the fire, but it's no use, 'cause you can't stop it from shining through. It's true.
fucking notebook, bro. There's like 160 pages, and I've used about 100 of them. I thought I was gonna be able to fit 2 certifications in here, but maybe not. I hope I can still. We'll see. I'm gonna go start that water. I'll be back.
I'm alone, I'm a broken home. I gave you all the bricks that I own and know. I'm letting go, I'm breaking these walls down, breaking these walls down. If you want adventure, then fly to home. But if you wanna travel, then go alone. Yeah, what's the point in us if I'll never know? If you're gonna leave, I'ma let you go. I'm tired of the pain.
Alright, I'm back. Fern, how long were you planning on studying for? I was honestly only planning on going for a couple hours and then eating something, but I mean, now I kind of just want to take a break when I eat something and then get right back to it. Maybe just watch some YouTube or something. Watch some Minecraft videos. Big titties, small titties. Titties are titties. My book is 1,600 pages long. Oh my god. I'm almost done with this certification. I'm in the middle of 4. I've got 5, 6, and 7 to do, and then I've got, I think, 2 tests to take after, and then I'll be certified as a certified fiber optic specialist testing technician. Definition of everything is important. No, I get it. I just didn't know how long you were planning on going today. Like I said, my original plans were to not study for too long and hop on Minecraft, but I actually want to keep going today. See, it is 43. I will go check the pot at 4. I think that's a good idea. It was a month ago. Oh my god. Now, I took a little bit of a break, a couple week break over the last couple weeks playing lots of Minecraft. But I mean, I don't know, my whole life is up in the air right now, but it really depends on what job I get next. Alright, because if I get something that I can still work on this shit in, then I'll probably keep working on it, and I've got this to do, I've got this to do, I've got this to do, and this 2 to 4 hours is such a fucking lie, bruh. Like you were saying, this shit is so info dense that everything fucking matters. Like, if you're actually trying to teach yourself this shit, no. 2 to 4 hours is not gonna cut it, bruh. I mean, you're seeing how long it's taken me to write all these notes and everything. Like, these lectures aren't that long. They're like 10 minutes, but I pause them here and there. And I've even got them on fast forward! Like, bruh. EMT? Oh, okay, yeah, that's just gonna take a minute. Or you're trying to move it by moving down the chain. Oh, I guess if you're going into a slightly different industry, yeah, you're gonna have to. But I mean, it's all related. How come you didn't volunteer as a fireman? Or did you not even think about that / want to do it? I know that's where I always thought I'd get my start, but I know that some areas do have too many volunteers. Other places are, particular about their volunteers. Not everywhere's the same, and not everywhere just wants to pick up random dudes and train them. Even if they are volunteers. And that's a lot of first-hand experience right there. Right, on both sides too, from what you were doing. That's also why I was thinking about that, was because, as a fire inspector, if you're a firefighter, you can definitely see, at least in your area specifically, what a lot of the causes are for fires. Right, and like I said, get a first-hand experience of it too, so you can potentially point out other stuff in newer builds. Pretty far-fetched, but I don't know. I always look for stuff like that. Oh, I don't know you had to pay for... everybody that I've talked to has always just walked to their fucking local fire station, bruh, and been able to just get trained on the job right then and there. I mean, on the job, Starts with ride-alongs, and then you eventually start learning about equipment and everything. Really depends on how you ask questions and who the guys you're working with are. But, yeah. I mean, none of the guys that I've ever talked to who are, around our age and are volunteers have ever had to talk about that. I mean, they've talked about that for moving farther up the chain, but just being like a regular volunteer who's there to like help whenever. Yeah, they said if they wanted to become full-time, they had to do stuff like that, and some of them who did move on to becoming full-time ended up doing that, and then they moved on to like other fire stations. But this is all in other states too, so. Now, here in California, I don't know what it's like for firefighters at all. I haven't talked to any here, and other than my grandmother, who was stopped being a firefighter like 40 fucking years ago. So, Wildland or city? Mostly Wildland. Yeah, that's the other thing too. There weren't usually a lot of people in the area at all, let alone people who specifically had the time and wanted to put the effort towards volunteering. So I'm sure there were a lot more lax on it. I don't know if it constitutes as actual wildland, though, because that's what I was talking about, where they moved on to, like, other stuff. In other states, like Oregon specifically, that I'm thinking of, where they have a lot of actual wildland, like, it's just state-owned nothingness, essentially. There are other, like, completely independent fire divisions, essentially, that cover all of that, and then they, like, rotate out super weird. I don't know. One of my old coworkers was explaining it to me, because his, like, not his stepbrother, I think it was his brother-in-law, had gone off to do all that, and so he, like, traveled around the whole fucking state constantly, moving from firehouse to firehouse to firehouse to firehouse. I don't remember exactly how he explained it all, because it was, like, really, really, confusing, but he said that it was specifically because they were, like, wildland and weren't, like, closer to civilization, but, like I said, that's also in a different, state, where there's a lot more wildland. Three types of firefighters? Well, the way he explained it, there were like 4 or 5 just in the fucking state, bro. Ranging from city to wildland to like federally government contracted, whereas like the wildland ones that his brother-in-law were, they were state funded, right? So I don't know. I'm not even gonna bother learning about that fucking bureaucracy, right? I don't care, and there's already way too much of it in the telecommunications industry too. Makes me a little sad, though. I always wanted to volunteer, but now I know the only real way I'll get a chance is if I'm somewhere kind of remote. Sucks. What are the 3 types that you're talking about? Are those, like, federal, or are they, like, here specifically in California? Yeah, what? Wildland is federal city. Ah, okay. Well, then I don't know what his brother was, because he said his brother was state funded. But he was still doing the same kind of thing where it was like wild. I mean, maybe it's just federal or state wildland. I don't know, because every state does whatever they want to. So Did it pause it again? Bro, I wasn't even talking. Oh no, I just can't hear it. Speakers are butt. See, I'm sure I went through lecture 26 somewhere around here. City and county, like Cal Fire. Oh, see, and that's so weird because there's up in Northern California, like really north, like Crescent City, and then like Southern Oregon, their fire, or at least there is a fire/EMT division that like covers the whole area. It's called CalOR. Right? So like there are so many of these different organizations. It's definitely going to confuse a layperson like me who doesn't actually know how all the bureaucracy works. Or is it OrCal? I don't remember. It's one of the two. Well, the point is like they cover the whole like little Pacific area of Northern California and super Northern California, and then super Southern Oregon. Yeah, my old coworker, he told me all this like at least 6 months ago too, so I don't even remember. That's kind of what I always thought, but I don't know. In their area, they oh wait, now I think I remember. I think he was state funded, but he also like they were state funded, but specifically for like private areas that didn't get any kind of city fire because they were like way out in the cuts. I think maybe that's what it was. I like vaguely remember him saying that because I was like asking a question, kind of like how I'm asking you a question. But like I said, this was like 6 months ago. I don't remember for sure. Because I remember they did both. Like they would do wildland areas, but they would also do structures. Like specifically, but they were structures that were too far away for like the regular firefighting organizations to actually get to them. Like they were literally too far away. Honestly, as the crow flies, not even usually too far away, but all the roads are hella windy and shit, you know, going around mountains. Okay, it doesn't look... Oh! Here it is. Yes, I did. I really wrote any notes on this one, so let's see if I end up having to write any notes on this one again.
In the FOA series of lectures on fiber optics. And this...
Actually, because I keep getting distracted, I'm going to go check the water real quick, make sure it's not boiling already. I doubt it is, but gotta make sure. alien agency like Cal Fire, they do a bit of both. I can see that. I can see that. I don't remember exactly what he said it was, but he was explaining it kind of like it was its own private thing, and the way he described it, it didn't sound like it got exclusively state funding. It sounded like it did get, like donations, and I don't know, like it sold something or had other fundraisers, you know, I don't know. Point-wise, it didn't sound like its exclusive income was from tax dollars, like at the organization as a whole. But like I said, it also was a different state, so I wouldn't doubt they organize it slightly differently than, you know, California does, or how Oklahoma does, or how New York would, or yada yada.
This lecture, we're going to talk about boss budget.
Also, I was wrong. My noodles were ready. The water was already boiling, so got my noodles. I'll let them sit here and cook for a second while we watch this. Is a way to bring up that keyboard shortcuts thing on your YouTube player, bro. I've done it before, and I don't remember where the goddamn button is or what the fucking shortcut is to do it. Fuck! No fucking way. No way that actually works. No shit. I'm using that from now on, dude. That is so sick.
So what we're interested in this link is the amount of power at the transmitter and the amount of
What's up, Savage? What are you doing today?
Power, starting at the transmitter output at the top and going down to the receiver sensitivity at the bottom.
I hate all this overthinking. Oh, 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 oh. The more I swim, the more I'm sinking. Take me to a world of silver. No more heartbreaks, tears, painkillers. Take me somewhere unfamiliar. Bring me back to where we
Nigga tuned into the stream at work, bruh. Good shit, bro. I appreciate it.
Power there is beyond the required receiver power.
Nice. I officially have 4 interviews. I'm gonna call HR and yeah, dude, for real, yeah, report him for watching this guy. Damn, I wanted to describe how like unpolitically correct I am, but there's no like, at least I can't think of it at the top of my head right now, like a super intellectual way to say that.
Length of optical fiber times its attenuation coefficient and dB per kilometer.
Hell no, this nigga's tripping, bro. There's never been a job where I'm cool chilling at the job site, bro. Never. Never. Not unless I'm waiting for a ride or, what is it? I'm like smoking a blunt with a coworker or something like that. And even then, like right after, I'm cutting. I'm out. Fuck that shit. Fuck that shit. That must be one comfy ass couch, bro.
Maximum losses from TIA 568 standard and typical component loss.
How hot is it where you live? Leeching, literally, bro. You say the free food and drinks, that actually goes hard, bruh. The Wi-Fi, I mean, any basic knowledge of telecommunications will tell you public Wi-Fi is dangerous, but it is nice. It is nice. I'm not gonna I'm not gonna dispute that. Hell yeah, this nigga, bruh.
Standard loss or atypical component loss. And we'll calculate loss.
Sav, if you're still here, gonna get on Minecraft when you get home? I'm pretty sure I fixed the server. I just haven't been able to test it because nobody else will get on. Like, no more than 2 people have been on since I've fixed it at a time. So, I'm pretty sure that it's fixed, but I need, like, me, Alex, and Sheppy, or you, me, and Sheppy, you, me, and Alex, you know, or you, Alex, and Sheppy. I need at least 3 people on to make sure that, like, it actually works. And there's nothing else I need to do to it. Alex be asking me to hop on. If you want to hop on, Fern, feel free. My meat dried up. Ah! You want to hop on, feel free, bro. I just know Sav's already hopped on, so. And I know Alex has also asked you. That's why I didn't ask you. No, I'm a Bedrock player. I'll have Alex help me later. Do you have Java? When did you buy Bedrock? Because you should have Java if you bought Bedrock, and if you buy Java, you should have Bedrock. You just have to download a mod loader. You just have to download fucking Java Edition and then a thing called CurseForge. And then there's a CurseForge code. Like, it's hella easy. It's really not bad. I bought it like a week ago? Then yeah. If you... Oh, wait. On what platform? I'm assuming you mean on PC? If you bought Bedrock on PC, then yeah, you have Java. If you bought it on anything else, then no, you only have Minecraft on that platform. Like any console. PC, yep, yeah, you've got Java. You just have to download it. I'm assuming you already have Minecraft installed. Like the Bedrock edition. Yep. When you open it, you get the little launcher, or did you download it through the Microsoft Store? If you downloaded it through the Microsoft Store, I don't remember if it gives you the launcher or if it just launches up the game. But if you get the little launcher where you can like choose the version and everything, then all you gotta do is head over to the little, like the left side where the other games are, and just click Java Edition and download it there. Easy peasy. Don't need me to do anything extra. Well, and then of course you need to download the CurseForge, but I mean for the actual game itself. I mean, bruh, there's been one time where he hasn't been able to connect, and it was ultimately his fucking computer. That's just mad funny, bro. Either way, like I said, it should be fixed now. Just not enough people are getting on it at a time for me to be able to actually test it. Whenever it's, damn, works on tech, but can't run Java, is crazy. Yeah. Yeah, well, I mean, obviously you guys don't know anything about Java because Java is notoriously a huge pile of dog shit. And I'm not even a software engineer. Like, I am self-proclaimed not a software engineer.
Typical component losses. Standards like TIA Class 68 tend to have higher losses.
I can almost feel you walking in the distance, but I know that it's not reality.
Well, I mean, take Alex's word for it all you want. This Alex is always all like, you're still on that. But I mean, whenever I'm streaming Minecraft, I'm playing on that server, right? And people come and go. I mean, you can look at my YouTube history and see how often I've streamed. I think I've streamed like fucking 40 or 60 hours in the last like 2 weeks just on that fucking world. So.
This is to be lost. But even if you're using pre-polished splice connectors these days,
Bro says you've got cheese did too. So, I mean, like, take that for what it is, bro. To Alex, we've all got cheese day, and I think that's because he's obsessed with the cheese day.
there's an easy way to calculate lost budgets. Just use.
Okay, break time. I'm gonna eat some food. He wrong though? About me or about you? That's what I'm saying. Do you have cheese day? I know I don't have cheese day. I think he just likes it, bro. I think he's into it. Loves that shit. Why not? Cottage fun, nigga. Bro, you don't even have cottage or cheese day? You got cottage day? That shit's hella thick and stinky or what? Ooh. I'm gonna take a quiz for show, brother. Sounds good.
Don't plant your crops like this, they grow faster in rows. And don't grow your sugarcane on sand or dirt, use mud instead. And these are 29 Minecraft things you might be doing wrong. But first, we've got a problem. YouTube tells me that no one has ever subscribed to the channel using their knuckle. So to be the first, fist bump that red button below. It's free, and it helps out a ton. Stop using shears to collect your leaves, but instead, you should use a hoe. No joke, because in recent versions, the hoe has gotten a much bigger bump to how you can use it. And while it does cost some extra experience to get the silk touch on your hoe to do this, the trade-off is that you're gonna get a much better durability than using some shears. And considering all the other blocks that we can break quickly by using this tool, I think that's more than enough reason to switch out your shears for a new side hoe. If you enchant like this, you're doing it wrong. Because as Nembon lays out, there's a way to properly use an anvil to allow us to apply more than 30 enchantments to an item. And considering there aren't 30 enchantments in the game, this basically means that we can get any enchantment that you want onto that one item without ever seeing the too expensive screen show up. And the reason for this basically comes down to a different point system that gives different values to different enchantments. But if I were to list them out for every enchantment right here, we'd be here all day. So I'd recommend checking out Nembon's video to see more about how the details are done. Because while it might take a learning curve to figure out, as soon as you've got it, your tools are about to get a lot more powerful, and more importantly, you'll still be able to repair them. Whether you plant your sugarcane on dirt or sand, you're both wrong, since instead, you should be using mud. Odd as it sounds, the mud block is actually the best candidate for one particular reason. It's shorter than a full block size, which means that if we place hoppers underneath it, we get 100% collection efficiency. So every item that we break from our sugarcane farms can go right down to where they're supposed to be. And honestly, when the alternative is building one of these using hopper mine carts and a whole other set of hoppers, I think you'll find that just by using a few water bottles, you can get a much more efficient solution. Never type out this command, but instead, you should just hold down the F3 key and then use the F4 to scroll through. With this simple shortcut, we don't have to waste the time typing out the command, and we can seamlessly switch between the different game modes that you might be doing while you're building a map. And if you're a veteran player, it might take a little bit to get used to, but as soon as you do, you'll never want to go back in the older versions. If your villagers keep escaping from your trading hall, you need to use honey blocks, since silly as it may seem, no mob's able to jump off of a honey block.
What's up, your mom? Good to see you again. No, I'm taking like a lunch break right now. I'm studying some fiber optic shit. I've just been playing a lot of Minecraft lately, so I thought I'd throw a Minecraft video on while I'm eating lunch.
To get enough height. But just tucking a couple of these inside your trading hall, your villagers won't be able to escape anytime soon. From your trading hall too, but as soon as you do, you'll never want to go back in the older versions. If your villagers keep escaping from your trading hall, you need to use honey blocks, since silly as it may seem, no mob's able to jump off of a honey block to get enough height, meaning by just tucking a couple of these inside your trading hall, your villagers won't be able to escape anytime soon. And then for some added defense, you can even add in honey blocks around them, so that mobs like zombies and more importantly babies
Jumped in any of Carlos's streams lately? I know he streams every once in a while, but I don't think he has in a while. Dude hasn't been on the server for a minute, so I'm just wondering.
These zombies can't even jump to attack them, keeping them safe and in place, both of which are important. If you're still mining at Y level 11, here's why you need to change. Since after the ore generation changes in 1.18, you'll now need to go down to Y level -58 to have a much better chance of finding your diamonds. Granted, it's going to take some time to dig all the way down there, but hey, that's what you're finding the diamonds for anyway, so you can have better durability to then find more diamonds. It seems like a payoff to me. Do not enchant your pickaxe with fortune, or rather, don't do it yet, since going on your mining trips with a silk touch pickaxe is going to be much more efficient for your inventory space. And then after you've collected all the ores in the raw form, you can finally return those back to your base and then use the fortune pickaxe when you're up and above, which in part does two things. You'll be able to carry more ores, and you don't have to worry about dying with literal.
Nah, man, good for you. Honestly, these places are a bit of a cesspool sometimes, so good shit, bro. Stay in the real.
Stacks of diamonds while you're down there, both of which sound pretty nice. So with that silk touch pickaxe, you're gonna have to remember, never smelt your ores in a furnace. Because while it might feel familiar for old players like me, nowadays, if you're smelting iron, copper, or gold, you're slashing your profits in half. And rather, you should be fortuning them and then smelting the raw materials inside, giving you a much better bang for your buck, even if it does take an extra step of having to break them. If you're planning on naming your tools, do not do it after applying any enchanted books. Since it's laid out in this example, every time that you go to name your tool after you've taken it up a couple levels, it's gonna get much more expensive to do, and that'll in turn bring up the entire enchantment cost of the whole tool, which is something we want to avoid entirely. So come up with a name before you do the step one, otherwise you're just wasting experience. This cave looks safe, but it's actually stupid, because this cave is also safe, and it took a lot less torches. See, since the changes in 1.18 to mob spawning, they'll only ever spawn down here in complete darkness, which is a big change from when they used to spawn in light levels up to 7. And honestly, I have a bad habit of doing this too. It just feels safer when there's more light. But if you're low on resources, just know that you can take this easy out, and it's not going to come back to bite you in any way. Here's why you need to be breaking your crops with a pickaxe, because odd as this looks, it's actually possible to have the fortune enchantment applied when you break certain crops like carrots or potatoes. And you can see the difference in gains between these two examples. It's pretty significant. Oh, and you could also use it to get more apples from the leaves that you break. And you don't even have to use a pickaxe. This could be any tool with the fortune enchantment applied. So whichever one you got on hand, that's now your farming tool. Better start using it. Never take the first horse that you tame, because while it does take a while to finally get a horse tamed and actually start using it, if that horse ends up being the slowest of the bunch, then you're gonna be wasting that time anyways. So it's worth testing out any and all horses around you and taming them to see which of them has the best stats. That way you can make sure they're not settling for some subpar steed. This shovel's too fast, which sounds like a ridiculous problem to have, but it can actually come up in certain instances. Like say I have a stack of gravel in my offhand, and I'm trying to mine them with the shovel at the same time to get flint. But if my shovel has the efficiency to insta-mine, then it breaks the gravel before it lets me place down another block. But instead, by using a slower shovel here, we can just hold down both buttons buttons and completely mine through the stack without interruption, proving that sure enough, slow and steady can win the race. Stop using your obsidian for blast chambers. Instead, use waterlogged blocks. Since 1.19 lets us now waterlog our leaves and mangrove roots, that water inside will keep these from exploding. And while this does work with any kind of waterlogged block, I would recommend using leaves instead, since at least that way, the water's self-contained, it's not going to flow out of the block, which could be a problem if you're using something like stairs instead. Picture this, you take the time to build your perfect mob farm, get all the spawning rates right, and then you ruin it by adding in a viewing window. Don't get me wrong, it's an honest mistake. I also want to see if it's working properly. But ever since 1.18, even just that little bit of light level that seeps in through the glass can block all of the hostile mobs from spawning. So to fix this problem, you should be using the newer tinted glass instead. That way we turn this worrisome window into the one-way glass that you need to do the trick. Stop using bubble columns, or rather, stop using these bubble columns. Since while a soul sand bubble column can be incredibly great for getting up fast, using another one with magma blocks can be incredibly slow. And instead, it's going to be much faster and simpler for your elevator, just have your player fall into something that breaks their fall like powdered snow or a water block. That way we make sure that we have the best amount of speed going both up and down.
That's fire. I'm glad that shit worked. And thank you, too. I definitely need to crack my back, bruh. That shit was... Oh my god, that shit was loud as fuck.
Stop building your crop farms like this, but instead, you gotta do it like this. And that's not just personal preference, but it's actually coded into the game where the crops grow faster if they're planted in rows. So to fix this problem, what you should be doing in your farms is either alternating your crop rows, or leaving about one block of space in between. And no joke, because of this secret feature, you'll see an immense increase to your growth speed. And when you go to replant your next harvest, you'll want to keep that in mind. This TNT trap works, but we can do so much better. Because by just adding 5 iron to the base of that TNT, we got ourselves a TNT minecart that does the job instantaneously. Since by mixing together TNT minecarts with powered rails, we can not only explode our victim before they know what's going on, but we can also pack an absurd amount of TNT into that one rail, making our machine a lot deadlier without actually having to scale up the...
Alright, your mom. I'm gonna take a dab. Derb. I'm gonna take a derb. I am packed up and ready to go.
Stop using redstone dust in your builds, because the truth is that this is one of the laggiest redstone components in the game, especially when you continue to power it off and on. And in lieu of that, you'll find it much more efficient to use powered or activator rails instead, which, there you go, costs the same amount of redstone. And at least for that part, it should be an easy transition to make, as long as you got a gold farm. If you've ever wondered why the screenshots on Reddit look so much better than your own, here's the secret. You gotta use a low FOV. Now, don't get me wrong, playing on FOV 30 is a nightmare, but when you use it for a screenshot, it gives you a much better flattening to the image. And then if you max out your render distance, you'll be able to make that shot look so much better. And then immediately turn off those settings, because we actually want the game
Alright, I'm heating, bruh.
to be playable. This bridge could be the death of me, because even though it's easy to build over the lava using netherrack, all it takes is one ghast flying by and shooting me with a fireball to completely destroy it. So even though there's a bunch of netherrack to use in the nether to build, I'd much rather prefer using something like cobblestone for a better alternative. And that way, you'll at least have a chance of surviving the fireball, instead of having a definite fall to your doom. Stop crafting diamond gear, which sounds crazy, but hear me out. Since diamonds are a finite resource within the world generation, you should really stick to getting any diamond gear that you need through trading with villagers instead. Since with a toolsmith, an armor, and a weaponsmith, you can get all your diamond essentials taken care of without ever having to mine diamond ore. And that way you save yourself a mining trip, and you save the world from running out of diamonds. If your ender chest looks like this, you're doing it wrong. Or rather, I should say you're doing it inefficiently, since an ender chest like this has 27 times the storage that we had there. And now that shulkers are renewable in recent updates, by using different shulker boxes that are sorted in a certain way, we can save ourselves a lot of time, like having one that's purely for valuables, another for emergency gear, or even just having shulker boxes filled with common building blocks could save you a lot of back and forth while you're building out a trip, all of which is a time investment that pays off, trust me. If your copper looks like this, I can tell you why it's not oxidizing, since the way that it's coded, copper blocks need at least 4 blocks between them to oxidize at max speed, and if you have the blocks placed any closer together, it's going to take much longer, especially if they're touching. So instead, a pattern like this is going to be the quickest way to do it, helping you to build that Statue of Liberty replica and still get it finished within your own lifetime. This crafting recipe works, but it's inefficient, since the truth is that if we make our mossy cobblestone using the new moss blocks instead of vines, it still works just the same, but moss blocks are so much easier to farm, considering they can be harvested through automatic means. While you are technically supposed to use an axe for harvesting chorus flowers, I wouldn't say it's the right solution, since instead, it's much easier to collect these flowers by shooting them with a bow, a trident, or even a snowball. And that also eliminates the need to go and pillar up to them, saving you time on both fronts, which I would say is a good deal. Here's why you should never craft lime dye, since while it is technically possible to get this with cactus green and white dye, it'd be so so much quicker if you just farmed your sea pickles and did it like this. Since if you just bone meal a sea pickle on top of a coral,
I didn't know you could bone meal fucking sea pickles and get them infinitely, bro. I fucking gathered like a stack and a half of them for like no reason when I could have just like grabbed one. I just got fiber in my house. That's fast. Used to have copper. Hey, nice, good shit, bro. That's a. Do you live out in like the middle of nowhere? That's kind of like what I was doing. That was my last job. I was setting up fiber to the home specifically for like rural customers who typically had like DSL or fucking satellite, bro. Excuse me. So that shit's fire, bro. That shit's awesome. I'm still on fucking hybrid fiber coax, which, I mean, it's good enough, but after having tasted fiber, bro, and having a fucking a gigabit up and down, like, dude, oh my god, there's no matching it. There's no matching it. Well, I mean, you can change your YouTube. You can change your YouTube name. It's whatever your YouTube channel is. I hate how Google has it because they bought YouTube, bro. Like, they had it fucked up for so long. Like, just within the last couple of months, I was finally able to get it so that my YouTube channel name wasn't what my emails were signed with, bro. Like, my normal email that I use for everything professional, bro. Because I totally want on a job application to be signed Mr. fucking GrapeCarrot. Like, so go through your Google settings, bro. You can change it and set it to ShopBait or, you know, whatever. Used to have Starlink, but it was ass. I've heard that. I've heard that Starlink is pretty hit or miss. When it works, it's great, but no matter what, it's expensive. And if it doesn't work for you, then you just kind of get shit out of luck, bro. It ends up being worse than fucking DSL. So, good for you, bro. Good shit. That's awesome. That's honestly the main reason why I want to move is because ever since tasting it, like, I can't deal with it anymore, bro. I want fiber to the home, bro. Good for the first month and then it stopped. I mean, sometimes it happens. Was it like a rat chew or something, or was it like the whole ISP went down? What happened? I mean, fiber's not that hard. Everybody makes it out to be super crazy, but I mean, if you're not an idiot, you can definitely handle it.
block, you'll get a large number of them for cheap.
Yeah, that sounds like a fiber ISP issue. I can guarantee there's something wrong with the transmission lines. Are you sure it was your whole area? Like, you're reading shit on Nextdoor or Facebook or whatever, you know, however your area actually connects with each other. Because, I mean, it could just be the cable to your house got fucked up from a bad installation, or, you know, an installation wasn't really, or the installer, sorry, wasn't really thinking about the future, and he installed it in a way where, like, wind or something happened, you know, or somebody hit it, you know, with a trash can or something, you know. I mean, a million different things can happen. Oh, that was always my favorite thing, was going out to customers who are reporting shitty service or service outages and bringing them back up. I love restoration and troubleshooting.
Sometimes 10 plus. And then you can smelt those down and get much more dye for your return. That way you only need one sea pickle farm instead of a way to get cactus and white dye. Cauldrons are a ripoff, because if you're taking the time to fill up each of your water bottles using a cauldron, one water source will only fill up 3 bottles that it needs. But if instead you just take that water source out of the cauldron and place it nearby, then you can fill up an infinite amount of bottles from that. And when it costs 7 iron ingots to get even less return, I think it's safe to say that the cauldron's still a ripoff. This small drip leaf is incredibly rare, so you shouldn't waste it. See, small drip leaf is essentially non-renewable, since you can only find it within lush caves and from wandering trader trades, meaning that if you were to bone meal a small drip leaf into a big one, you're wasting it, since that same big drip leaf is actually easily farmable through other methods. So even if it doesn't look like it, in the long run, you'll want to hold on to the little guys, especially when you can get all the big ones from a setup like this. And with that, folks, YouTube thinks that you might like this video, so see if they're right and have a good one, alright?
I'm gonna take another dab. I'm gonna watch another video, take a little bit more of a break, and then we'll hop back into it. Should I watch another Minecraft video? Ooh.
Today we have about 300 feet of fiber, but let's go ahead and test it before we run it.
Bunch of LC connectors.
So let's get 1 and 2 and test the first pair. Take off the protector caps. Now it's getting plugged in. Now let's find our other pair on the other side, 1 and 2, and let's get those plugged into the switch.
That was a little sketch.
And we got.
But I mean, it's probably
next
okay.
is the fiber cable is working. Now you can do some further testing by plugging in maybe the internet and then hooking up a laptop to do a speed test to make sure it's fully working. But in our case, we're just testing the fiber and it's linking out, so we know that fiber cable is now working.
I was gonna say that test is very contextual. That in a lot of applications is not enough because you don't know what the signal strength is actually being sent through the cable. Right? It just getting a green light doesn't really mean anything. Much like copper, you can get a pass even though the cable doesn't actually fucking pass. Message too long! I got an email saying that my internet was going to be slowing down, but it should pick up, but it just never did. And then I got fiber to the home. Oh, it was with your DSL. Okay, never mind. Never mind. A lot of that infrastructure is super fucking old, bro. So, I couldn't be asked with... Oh, wait, was it Starlink that... Bro, that's ass. Never mind. If it was Starlink that gave you an email, if it was DSL, that makes sense and kind of to be expected. If it's Starlink, that's ass. That's fucking stupid. But I thought it was the fiber. So I just got a unified Dream Machine, and it's so good. I'm going to get the Dream Machine Pro for my server rack when I get enough money. Nice. I can't wait till I can get off this hybrid fiber coax, bruh. I mean, like I said, it works. I like my gig down, but I'm just so sick of a cap of 40 up, bruh. So sick of it.
This is every overpowered thing you can do in Minecraft. With just a lever and some redstone dust, we're able to lag the game so much that we can basically freeze time. Since with the way that Mojang's coded redstone dust, it gets pretty laggy when you connect a bunch of these up to a lever. And then by using something like the fast right-click feature in a mod like Tweakaroo, we can flip that same lever on and off until eventually the redstone's updating so much that we basically slow time down to a crawl. And then that's where the fun begins. Since one of the easiest tricks to pull off with this is to break bedrock. Or if you wanted to, you could use this to freeze time on a multiplayer server, build an entire structure, and then, when time switches back to normal, your friend will have no idea where that came from. But let me warn that in that case, you don't want to span the lever for too long, since doing it for longer than 60 seconds might just trigger Minecraft's watchdog to terminate the server. But as long as you freeze time in smaller increments, they'll be none the wiser. While other people debate whether a sword or an axe is better in PvP, you'll know that this is the real answer. Since in all actuality, using end crystals for PvP can do so much more damage. On harder difficulties, this can deal 145 hit points in a single blow. And while it's expensive, you can set up this whole process with just 3 clicks. One for the obsidian, another for the crystal, and then lastly by punching it. And as long as you have some form of block in between your feet and the explosion, you yourself are going to take minimal damage, if at all. And unlike using beds in the nether, this is an option that we can choose in any of the dimensions that we want. This is going to level the playing field and level them into a pile of ashes. Alright, pop quiz. What do you do after accidentally hitting a zombie piglin? Well, the solution's simpler than you might think, since all we gotta do is take after this user on Reddit and dig out 2 blocks into the ground and then build 2 blocks up so that we're standing safe. And from there, if we hold crouch and move back over the hole, then at that point, all the zombie piglins are just gonna run into that confined space. And once we got them crammed in there like sardines, all we have to do is drop 2 pieces of gravel on top of them, and they'll all suffocate down there in the pit, making this the simplest way to get off their bad side. Though keep in mind that if you do this, you might run the risk of them spawning zombies as reinforcements. But as long as you're stayed up on their tower, you'll be able to easily dispatch them too, proving that this mistake was as easy to solve as it was to make. If you see this coming towards your base, be very afraid, since as it was designed by generic redstone genius, this cute little flying machine ends up being a devastating nuke. Since when there's virtually no limit to how many TNT minecarts you can put on top of a regular rail, we guarantee that when this flying machine hits its target, it's gonna have enough firepower to make even the worst nukes cry. So whether you're using this to get rid of a mountain or your friend's base, for how small of a footprint it is, this might be the easiest way to achieve world domination in your next world. With this setup, you'll never have to eat again, since the truth is, by just having regeneration on your beacon, starvation's no longer a worry for you, since the fact of the matter is that you'll actually out-heal the starvation damage. Now granted, you won't be able to sprint, but if you want to AFK at a farm without ever having to worry about starving to death, then just setting up a simple beacon like this could really be all you need. And that way we can turn even the deadliest of Minecraft game modes into essentially peaceful mode. And when you build up that regeneration beacon, consider grabbing 3 more, since by building your beacons overlapping with one another, we can ensure that each additional beacon that we add on only costs a fraction of the resource blocks for the pyramid. And if you want further proof, just look at the numbers.
Also depends on the ISP. Not every ISP actually offers synonymous connection through fiber, even though that is one of the main selling points of getting funding for it in an area, is that the customer base will have access to synonymous connection speeds. I would definitely talk to your service provider about that, because, I mean, if you got fiber to the home, I mean, they might offer a gig up and a gig down. I don't know what the price would be, but I mean, for all the ISPs that I had done work for, a gig up and down was like $50. No, sorry, that was like $70. Some of the other ones, I mean, like I said, some ISPs try and scam the customers a little bit more. Sometimes it's because they're smaller companies and they're not actually scamming them, but it's scamming the customers, but it's because, you know, they had a higher investment, like lump sum to the whole infrastructure upgrade, and so they literally have to translate those costs to the customer. I mean, it really just depends on the area. Like I said, I would definitely talk to your ISP and see if you can get synonymous for whatever you're paying now. Standard was about 55 to 60 bucks for 500 up and down, about 70 to 90 for a gig up and down, and then 2 to 5 gigs was anywhere between, you know, I want to say like 120 to like 180 bucks a month.
An individual 4-beacon setup would cost 656 iron blocks. But if we stack it together like this with overlapping, then it goes down to 216 of the same blocks. So while it's obviously expensive to get the beacons in the first place, let's at least make sure that we're taking the simple costs where we can. And that'll be a lot less stress on your iron farm, trust me. If you're planning to build with copper, you need to have this farm. Since with this design by ENXO4, we're able to make an extremely simple footprint for what's going to be a very profitable farm. And the whole way that this works hinges around these zombie reinforcements. Since under certain conditions, zombies are able to spawn other zombies to help them out in a fight. And what's better yet, these zombie reinforcements ignore the mob cap. Meaning just like that, we're able to pile hundreds and hundreds of zombies into our farm. And at that point, as long as you have a looting 3 and mending sword, we can use an auto clicker to stay at this farm for hours. And at that point, the only question is going to be, how do you store all that copper? Let's say you start in a new world and you need an XP farm. Well, we're going to hop over to the nether. And not for blazes or anything like that, but rather to farm nether quartz. Since by just breaking one of these nether quartz ore, you're about guaranteed 3.5 experience.
Well, that's also a completely different country. So I don't know how the ISP rules are standard. By standards, I mean more like typical attitude of ISPs in the area are, nor do I know how your competing space is. So I live in a shitty area. Well, I mean, I don't know. That would just really piss me off, bruh. Getting fiber, and I mean, from DSL, it's a huge improvement. Obviously, it's a night and day fucking difference for you. But that's literally what I get with hybrid fiber coax. So, like, I get coax to the home, right? And it's a fiber backbone that I don't have access to. So, like I was saying, the whole point of fiber is that you have access to higher synonymous speed. So I don't see why they'd cap you at 50 up. That doesn't even make any fucking sense. What would be the point of even upgrading you to fiber to the home?
Points on average. Meaning that if you just broke nether quartz ore alone, it would only take breaking 400 of these to get you from level 0 to 30. And with how prevalent and dense these veins can be, that's going to be pretty easy to get. And plus, nether quartz has other uses too. I see this as a win-win.
I don't know. I find it unlikely that they don't offer it. Like you were saying, it probably just has to do with your plan.
Here's how we're going to turn this librarian villager into an infinite emerald farm. Since after repeatedly zombifying and curing that villager, we're able to get it so that we can buy 1 bookshelf for 1 emerald. And then we can take that newfound bookshelf, break it on the ground, and that'll give us 3 books that we can sell back to it for 1 emerald apiece. And at that point, we're basically tripling our money every time we talk to the villager. And while that might seem like we're manipulating it, it's clearly got plenty of emeralds for itself, so maybe it's fine with sharing the wealth. In recent updates, iron farms have never been easier to build. Since in the past we might have had to spend all the time to place down these doors in a specific way, now an entire iron farm could be kept to this small design. And as Razeworks shows off, we can build this iron farm design in 5 minutes, which that little of a time investment's able to get us 300 to 400 ingots per hour. So unless you start building with iron blocks, there's hardly even a need to go past this rate. It's really a no-brainer to have one of these in your world. If you've got access to the top of the nether roof, then you got yourself a food farm. Since for only 30 minutes of your time, you could build this extremely simple hoglin farm. And that way we're getting ourselves both cooked pork chops and leather too. And probably the best part about this is that it requires no complicated redstone or anything like that. Literally all we're doing is just scaring away the hoglins with warped fungus. And then by setting the light level of the farm so that only the hoglins can spawn, we're
Bro, I look burnt. You know, I think that last gram that I'm smoking on, I think it might be a sativa, because I don't really feel all that high, but I look fucking burnt, dude. That's hella funny. Like, that's weird. I've worked on several projects from beginning to end, and the price has never really changed. But like I said, it is a different country, and I don't know what your guys' standards and practices are. So, don't know. I was also talking USD, so.
Sure that when we go up top here, we'll have enough food to supply multiple players on the server with literal food for years. By following this user's lead, all we need is a pair of leather boots and some powdered snow to get ourselves up and away and leave no trace behind. Since with just 2 powdered snow buckets, we're able to pillar ourselves up and then bridge across infinitely. And while it could take some time to learn the technique to do this, as soon as you get that down, you can get this going about as fast as you can pillar up anyway. So if you're trying to escape from someone in a PvP situation, at least this way you're not leaving behind a tall tower as evidence to where you went. It might not look it, but this redstone is entirely wireless. And you'll see as much when we flip this lever. This designed by 2No2 Name has an infinite range, just as long as you're in the same dimension. The way this works is based off an obscure item mechanic where the game will store a unique entity ID, and then the delay it takes for that hopper to pick up the item could differ depending on that ID. And so when our receiver checks for that specifically timed entity creation, that'll sync up with our transmitter and allow us to have virtually infinite range on our redstone. But keep in mind, this isn't super reliable in single player. It's mostly intended for server use. But when you got it there, it essentially gives us 5G to use in our world. And that just blows my mind. Let's be honest, some Minecraft worlds are better than others. And that means that if you were to use a seed like the one on screen, you'll find that from the get-go, you're instantly better off than other people. Because by just simply spawning next to a mushroom island, you're essentially playing on peaceful mode, regardless of how bad things get. Since the only mobs that are able to spawn down here in the dark are bats. And that way, you're able to go caving around your base without any worries. And you can also do it without lighting up the area. So as long as you don't run into any monster spawners nearby, this will turn your hardcore world into the easiest that it can be. And as soon as you figure out how to get wood when you're on this island, that's all your problems solved. With this glitch, you can sprint forever without losing a single hunger bar. And the way it happens is that if you simply punch an enemy while you're sprinting, and then continue to sprint afterwards, that'll negate all of the sprint's hunger drain. And as user ElliotX shows off, this could be a game changer for speedrunning, especially because it's allowed in runs. But keep in mind that you will still lose hunger when you're jumping during this. And the way it all works is that the game thinks that when you punch, that you'd stop sprinting. So in that case, the server sees you as walking, but the client still believes that it's sprinting. And then that desyncs enough for us to manipulate and get all of this extra speed without ever having to do it on an empty stomach. If you're playing on peaceful mode, keep this one in mind, since the truth is that you're going overkill if you're putting Respiration 3 on your helmet, since in this difficulty, putting any level of respiration on your helmet will mean that you cannot drown. And the reason for this is that the peaceful mode regeneration rate is enough to actually keep up with the drowning damage that you take when you have respiration. So don't waste your levels trying to go overkill on this. If you're going to go explore in the ancient cities, remember to bring yourself a hoe, since with this tool in particular, you'll be able to instant mine through all of the skulk blocks, which not only gives you a quick way to gain levels, but you're also likely to uncover large amounts of diamond ore. Since the way that diamonds are coded, they're more likely to spawn when they're covered by other blocks. And considering skulk counts for that, we're essentially just peeling off a blanket and waking up some sleeping diamonds. And by the point that you find them, you'll have plenty of levels left to enchant them, making this one of the most profitable ways to equip yourself. But you might be wondering how you even explore ancient cities without having to worry about you-know-who. Well, Ilamango's got you covered. Since with this machine, if we just shoot 6 arrows onto the wool block at the bottom of the arrow chamber, then we can close it back up and flip this on and off switch on the hopper clock, which all comes together to mean that we're completely disabling warden spawning. So even though you might hear warden sounds coming from this machine, the actual truth is those are the sounds of failed warden spawn attempts, since when you look around, you're not going to see any. And not only will this work in the ancient city that you built it within, but because of the built-in chunk loading, we guarantee that this works in any ancient city that you step into in the world, just as long as you're the player that shot the arrows into the machine. And at that point, we can use our hoe to get rid of all the skulk shriekers, so that even when this machine isn't working, we're still not going to have to worry about the warden. Forget smelting your items in a furnace, instead you want to build this. Since there's just 9 hoppers and a chest boat, we're able to make the poor man's suit.
What do you mean click? You shouldn't need to do anything other than use the one click. I mean, you can do that while everybody's on. Fiber to the home guy shouldn't have left any exposed fiber, right? You should just have the connector. And with the connector, all you need is a little cleaner called a one click, and it just it fits onto the actual fiber. That's what I'm saying. Like, there shouldn't be any exposed fiber that actual exposed hair diameter fiber. You know, like so tiny you have to hold it up really close to the human eye to even be able to fucking see it. Right? You shouldn't have that. You should have a connector connected to a cable that houses the fiber, and ultimately that connector is plugged into a piece of equipment, whether that be an ISP provided ONT or your own modem that you provide, or say a server, like a rack mounted modem that you have, whatever. It doesn't matter. But either way, even if like the ONT is outside on inside the the telecommunications box on the outside of the house, behind it there should be a connector going both or a cable with a connector, sorry, one going into the ONT that is inside the telecommunications box, and then one cable being fed in from the the street. And so with that, you are right, you can dirty the connector, but it doesn't matter if anybody's on. You should just be able to take it out, one click it real quick, and, maybe do it another time if you're a little unconfident in it, and plug it right back in. Should be it. All right, give the modem 2 minutes to read its connection again and everything, and I mean, usually when I did it, nobody even noticed a fucking difference. But like we were talking about, it is a different country, and there are a whole bunch of different ways to set up FTTX. So I don't know, they could have used a different way. I find it highly irresponsible to leave exposed fiber in any way, shape, or form for the customer, and that's typically why I explained how I've done it, how the installs I were taught, and the different install methods that I've seen, because, or at least some of them, and it's specifically because you don't want to leave anything like that for the customer. You just want the tech staff to deal with it, so that the customer doesn't have to do anything. It's not like coax where it doesn't matter. It's super rough. You can bend the whole shit, and as long as you make it straight again and it doesn't break the copper, you're fine.
Super smelter, and we did it all with our redstone. Since any items that we put into the chest boat will get evenly dispersed amongst our furnaces, and that'll give us a 9 times return on a regular furnace. And hey, if you want it even better, I'd recommend switching these out for blast furnaces, and then you've got an 18 times return on that regular furnace. Which is great to have that much cooking power, but now the question is, how are you going to fuel it? And that's where carpets come in. Since, as you see in this design by Eagle Eye, all it takes is having a couple of sticky pistons and coral fans to get ourselves infinite amounts of carpet, which is not only nice for decorating, but more importantly, we can also use these carpets as a way of fuel. And with a farm designed as this, that's 3.4 million carpet that we're getting to cook in our furnaces. At that point, I don't care how fast of a super smelter you have, it's not going to be able to go through all that fuel. Don't underestimate tipped arrows, since by just hitting yourself with one of these slow falling arrows, that'll give you just the right amount of slow falling effect that when we partner with a Riptide 3 Trident, we can use this to launch ourselves sky high. And the reason we use an arrow instead of a potion is so that when we reach the top of our ascent,
okay, good. Well, the one click is just one cleaning method. I mean, the standard cleaning method before one clicks was to use special cleaning solutions. You spray a cloth with it so that it's slightly damp, and then you rub the connector on it a little bit in a figure 8 pattern, and then you have a special drying cloth that you then again rub it in a figure 8 pattern, and then that cleans the tip. It's just the one clicks are nice and easy. They're usually pretty cheap. You can get them on Amazon for $20. So. And like I said, it's just a boop, boop. I mean, it's so easy. It's the size of a pen, Brian. It's usually got an adapter for whatever connector you've got. And even if as long as it's an LC or an SC, it's just a boop, and it'll fit right onto the little exposed tip when you pull it out. Yeah, I mean, it's called a one click because all you need to do is click it once, typically. I'll usually do it 2 or 3 times just to absolutely make sure it's clean, and if there is any continual problems after, then absolutely there's either something wrong with the internal fiber itself, like it's cracked or it's being stressed too much somewhere, or the connectors themselves are scratched, which I've typically not had microscopes out in the field to be able to look at them, so I don't know if they're scratched. All that matters is that the cable doesn't work. Yeah, I mean, click it a couple times, throw it in. In my experience, you wouldn't typically have only a detriment on the upload or the download if your connectors are dirty or if there's something wrong with the cable, right? It's kind of like all around connection becomes kind of unstable and kind of unpredictable, other than you may receive lower speeds all around. Your speeds may, like I said, be inconsistent, so they might fluctuate during a test. A couple different things that can happen, and ultimately it comes down to the exact signal that your ONT is receiving, which we're not going to be able to determine that, what's going through the cable and what's being missed by the ONT. Only the ONT can determine that. And As long as you're receiving problems, then there's an issue, basically. But look at your plan, because your plan might just be 50. Typically, if you're receiving problems because of a dirty connector or a bad cable, like I said, you wouldn't just be capped at like 50 up and then you'd get your full gig down. You'd be getting completely reduced speeds all around the board or something else. You know, some other kind of weird thing. Why do I have another alert? Oh. Dr. Deborah alert. For what? Taco Tuesday. Forgot. I never win, but that's okay.
We are...
Okay. It's been unstable. That's why I ordered it. Sometimes I'll get 30 download, and sometimes I'll get a gigabit. Oh, okay. So yeah, it could be a dirty cable or an improper installation. Like the installer didn't do a good enough job of like installing the cable, and you know he bent it somewhere. Whatever. It might also be something wrong with the distribution lines, or say the splitter that your house is actually plugged into. Ultimately, I can't tell you what it is without being on site. So, run some speed tests. Speedtest.net, you know, see what you're getting, look at your bill, see what you're paying for, and contact your ISP with that information. And, you know, assuming it's an issue, you know, right? Assuming it's not what you're actually paying for, what you're getting. You know, go from there. Tell them that you want what you're paying for and that you're not getting it. Yada yada.
It's still gonna have a slow falling effect, because using slow falling with an elytra is just sad. And especially with how easy it is to get tipped arrows in Bedrock Edition, I think there's more than enough of a reason to try this out in your world. Forget using obsidian for your blast chambers, because ever since 1.19, waterlogged leaves can work just as well. For one, it's gonna take a lot less time to mine all the blocks necessary to do this, and then when you get all those blocks, it's not even gonna be a cut to your function. They'll work just as well for your concrete converter. And at that point, unless you need obsidian for another portal or an enchantment table, I really don't think it's worth grabbing when you got this. TNT duplication machines are great, but getting slime blocks and coral early on is a real tough business. So instead, we can take after this user's design and make an easy early game cobble farm. Since by supplementing our build with a lot more observers, we're able to glitch out the TNT just the same and essentially duplicate it for all our uses. And then with enough cobblestone generators packed into the inside of the blast chamber, this is a fully automatic way to get loads of cobblestone, which will be handy because as soon as you do get a silk touch pick, you're really not going to get a lot more cobblestone from that point. So better to stock up while you can. If you're
Cleaning. I'm assuming that's something else. Like that has nothing to do with the internet. So leave a couple of weeks if the cleaning doesn't work. Oh, you mean you're cleaning the thing, right? Because we get compensated if it's over a certain amount of time. I see. Right. Fuck it. Yeah. Fuck it. Yeah. I take the free money. Hell yeah. And then they fix the problem too. Let's fire.
Mining blocks like this, you gotta stop. Since the truth of the matter is that in Bedrock Edition, if you stand back at max reach distance and mine, you'll actually be mining faster than you do when you're right up close. So if you're going brain...
That's not true. That does work in Java, but it is not like as pronounced of a difference. I was doing it last night, and like with Bedrock, you can very clearly see that like the break speed of the block changes. In Java, the break speed of the block doesn't change. What changes is your transition from block to block. And I'm talking, this is like milliseconds difference. This is like a quarter of a fucking second, bro. And when you're right next to a block, it'll stop mining, take a second break, like a quarter of a millisecond break, a quarter of a second break, and then continue breaking the next block. Whereas if you're about as far away as you can reach, it'll break it and then immediately start working on the next one with no break. Or at least if there is a break, it's like 1/100th of a second rather than like, you know, a quarter of a second. You know, it's a very small difference, but you can definitely feel it. And it does help long term, but you very clearly saw that like the break speed of the block changed, and that shit doesn't happen, which sucks.
Branch mining in Minecraft, we'll just want to take a couple steps back, at least until this bug gets patched. But with how long it's been on the bug tracker, I don't imagine that's going to be soon. Here's how to make your spyglass even better. Since the way that the spyglass works, it actually modifies your existing FOV. So while we could use our regular FOV...
At this point, bro, like, they've either tried to fix it and they can't, or it's literally a feature now at this point. You know, I could see it having been a feature. I haven't read that bug log, so I don't know if any of the devs have tuned in and literally said that it was a bug, but, you know, I mean, that's I was thinking, like, it does relatively make sense, because, like, if you're using a pickaxe in real life, or even a shovel or anything like that, if you are right in front of where you're digging, you're not really going to be digging all that well, because you're kind of, like, you can't get all of the momentum and the leverage that you actually need to dig through the ground or hammer through your fucking rock. Whereas if you take just a step or two back, right, you can get a little bit more leverage, use your entire body weight to actually throw the pick or the shovel into the ground or into the rock and potentially break more away. So, I mean, it's not like it doesn't make sense, but I could definitely also see it just being a bug. Just attributing nothing or something to nothing.
FOV and have it zoom in this much. If we lower that FOV to the bottom at 30, then you'll notice when we use the spyglass, it zooms in even closer. And then if you've got an additional zoom mod on top of that, you can really use this trick to get up close and personal, and then immediately switch off the lower FOV, because playing the rest of the game this way is miserable. And with that, folks, YouTube thinks that you might like this video, so see if they're right, and have a good one. All right.
Alright, I'm going to work on this for a little bit longer. See, it's 5. Carlos should be hopping in soon. Kind of want to hop on Minecraft, I'm not gonna lie. Kinda wanna hop on Minecraft. Okay. I'm gonna take another dab real quick, and then I will get into this. Got a bunch of fucking textbook chapters to read. Oh my god, dude, these are gonna take a while, especially if I'm like actually taking fucking notes. Even though fuck it. Whatever. I will just start it and we'll see how far I get. I want to at least get through 2 or 3 of these. Shut up. Okay, cool. Alright. Yeah, I want to get through at least 2 or 3 of these fucking, not lectures, these, not even research papers either, fucking, I guess reference guides is what I'll just call them. Fuck it, whatever. But we'll see. There's somebody honking outside, bro. I can hear him. Oh, you know what? It's probably the elote guy. Honking his little horn saying, hey guys, I'm here. I got my elote. Are you hungry? And I'm saying, never. I don't need no mayo and corn. I'm good, brother. Oh, you know what? Maybe it's my downstairs neighbor. Maybe they're playing music. Because I hear music that's actually kind of loud. It's not that bad. Time to put my music on. Yeah. Oh, excuse me. The fuck? I had literally started that. Whatever. Weird as fuck. Cheers. Oops, sorry. Oh my god, like I know all this, bro. Like that makes it so much harder to fucking read, bro. Like it's just all review. And it's not even like high level review. Like this is like a couple years ago for me review. But whatever. I'll keep reading.
someone to be saved, someone to clean up and tame. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you think I would look pretty on your arm once you cover up my bruises and battle scars, but it always ends the same. Can't bear the things I've had to face, got you crying on your knees in pain. Oh, some things never change, never change. Oh, you break your back to make me feel again, suffocate to make me breathe again, lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came. I stopped asking for forgiveness, cause you should know only fools tread where the angels fear to go, but you keep trying to get too close. Save myself by turning into stone, so save your judgment cause you just don't know. But some things never change, never change. Oh, they say I should feel guilty and change my ways, leaving crumpled bodies in my wake. Swear I didn't mean to make them break, swear I didn't mean to make them break. But they're so delicate and so mundane, and they keep coming like a moth to a flame. Oh, some things never change, never change. You break your back to make me feel again, suffocate to make me breathe again, lose your mind from endless pain. Some things never change, never change. Oh, redemption never came. Open eye, feel the waves cut through me, hypnotized by the sounds I'm breathing in. Hold tight, chemicals collide. Hold tight, hold tight, hold tight. Dripping lights paint the skies, all because of you. Dripping lights paint the skies, only
That shit's definitely a fucking sativa, bro. I am like, my brain is like dancing in the fucking clouds right now. And this is exactly why I don't smoke fucking sativas, bro. There's no way. It says it's a 70-30 indica hybrid. No, that's not the same one.
Oh, you make me wanna talk back to you. Say it like that. If I hate you, then find someone new. Baby, but you know I never will. No, so I choke you down just like a pill.
Bitch ass nigga. And all the possible lineage I can see at most says 50-50. That shit don't feel like an indica at all, bruh.
Maybe I'll leave. Baby, but you
Not bad. What's wrong with just shy of a B? I mean, yeah, I wouldn't be happy with the C plus either, but it's not bad. You passed. That's some bullshit, bro. There should be more questions then.
Lions roaring in the morning sun, searching for a longer day.
Guess on the final is fair.
People feeling like the light has
That's annoying, but fair, I guess.
never stopped the way.
Ooh. What about the whole class? Say you get, 90 on the final. Right, but you have a 78 in the whole class total. Would you still fail? Excuse me. I mean, like, based on averages, even if they don't show you the averages. That's butt, bruh. That's butt. Actually, come to think of it, I think mine's an 80% fail rate too, or not 80% fail rate. But if you get 80%, you fail. I don't remember for sure, but I remember it's not like 70 or 75. It's not like a C and you pass. They'd probably be on academic probation.
We will always take a stand for the people, for the land. Let's go back to when we were young. For the animals we stand. Let's go back to when trees were swung. Kids across the land. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah, the beauty of the world. Savannah, let's all take a whirl. Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah.
I don't blame you, brother. Have a good rest of your day, dude. I'll probably hop on Minecraft here within the next hour or so. Oh shit, I didn't realize it was still on when I turned it off. That's my bad. Sounds good, brother. Yeah, like I said, I will be on Minecraft soon. Yeah, I'll hop on. Feel free. But don't be pressured either. I know Alex is trying to get you on. Peace out, brother.
Savannah, I'm coming home. Savannah, we'll never be alone. Savannah. Waste another day, eyes on my display. You say we need a change, and I feel that you mean it. You mean it. But you're so right, we're losing track of time.
can we just slow down? The only thing I'll do is lay here next to you. We need to slow down. Embrace the love we found. For you and I were safe and sound.
Okay, I think I'm done studying for today. Alright. Yeah, I'll be back on with the Minecraft stream in, I don't know, probably like 20 or 30 minutes. Use the bathroom, grab some water, some other things, and then I'll be back on. Alright, bye-bye!